One of the early customers that kind of helped me think through this was it was one of our a state in the southeast. I can't tell you which state it was, but it was a big state. But what they had done is they had a big data center that they were running on their own, and it was very expensive and hard to maintain and everything else. What they ended up doing was they took all of their web front ends, what they called their e-citizen stuff, right? So, you know, Social Security benefits, whatever local government stuff. But they took their entire web front end and they moved that into a public cloud. But they retained the back end data, which, you know, they have accountability, you know, from a compliance and privacy standpoint. They need to actually maintain that core data. So the database stayed behind, and all their public stuff or all their web stuff moved to the public cloud.
Maybe, for instance, human resources, data, and applications
right.
in the private because of security and privacy.
My belief is that we're going to be in a hybrid world forever. I don't think that there will ever be one provider of the world's data center. Right? I think there's going to be a lot of different public clouds, you know, not just created by Microsoft, but by Microsoft partners. We have many partners around the world, you know, 14,000 reseller partners that basically host and run Microsoft software in their local markets. And so I think the world will be, and when we ask customers, we say, do you think you're going to be entirely in your own data center, entirely in the cloud, or somewhere in the middle? Only 5% say that they're going to be entirely in the cloud. And they typically are small startup companies. Well, first of all, it's not even in beta yet. You know, it's working code. What we showed you today was real, but it'll evolve over time. And I think I said this earlier. Think about it as the administrative experience for the business unit or the service owner, the application owner. Okay, so System Center has got a lot of consoles. It's a very rich management set of capabilities, but it's you know, tools that a data center administrator would love, but probably too much for what the business unit owner needs to have. And so Concero will evolve over time to be the administrative portal for that business, that service owner. And it's a 1.0 product. We've architected it in a way that's very flexible. We're going to be able to ship that pretty frequently, and you'll see it kind of evolve to be a much more rich and full-featured console. But you know, it's a version 1.0, so starting point. The data center administrator can assemble the fabric, if you will. Okay, so that he assembles that and then takes capacity and puts that up there. The other demo that Chris showed was around being able to separate the application from the operating system and then describe these service templates, right? And you author those inside of VMM. Okay. And then the business unit IT in Concero actually can see that same library of service templates and images, you know, VHD images, etc. All of that is assembled by VMM, and then you view it and you kind of stitch it together and then deploy it from Concero. We use the Softricity technology to, we call it sequencing, as you sequence the application. That actually allows us to separate it from the operating system. Okay, fine. But the way to think about Intune is there's multiple versions of Windows. So there's Home and Home Basic and Home Premium, and there's Professional and Enterprise. Enterprise today, the enterprise features of Windows are only available in the construct of a big licensing agreement, right? And you have to have at least 250 PCs to even be eligible. And so what that's meant is that for things like BitLocker and Direct Access and branch cache and a lot of these scenarios that are only in that enterprise edition, only big companies could get them. Right? And so Intune gives you the enterprise edition, the software assurance rights, plus the management and security as a service.